Do you know that according to statistics, what's the fastest growing religion in the world right now?
Absolutely not, to be fairly honest.
Yeah.
I can say Hinduism, maybe.
Do you know what the fastest growing religion currently in the world is right now?
I'd probably guess Islam if growing, yeah.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam, yeah. So Islam is the fastest growing religion. Are you surprised by this at all?
No.
It's Islam. Is it? Okay, yeah, I can understand. Yeah, okay.
Why? Why can you understand?
Because it's a really predominant religion, let's say, and countries which are quite rapidly growing and can be influential. I don't know.
Does that surprise you? Like, why do you think that's the case?
No, I wouldn't say it surprises me. Probably, like if you go back, a lot of demonization, a lot of changed opinions as well. Like more multiculturalism generally. Like everyone should probably at this point have someone who, like a friend or someone they know that practices Islam. So probably just through that you learn about it through people you know, etc. That's how a religion grows.
So Islam is also growing in the West as well. Why do you think that would be?
To be truly honest, I don't know, because the other religions are not so strong anymore in a certain way. Maybe.
So
Because it talks more to youngsters. I don't know. To be fairly honest, I didn't expect that. So I don't know.
Well, that is exactly some of the reasons that Islam is very set in its way. There's no, you can't just change it around. And like you're saying, it is appealing to a younger audience.
Yeah.
And what do you think about Islam from what you know already?
I wouldn't say I have like particularly strong opinions on it either way. Like I definitely think religion generally is a good thing for people. Don't subscribe to it myself currently, but like I have a friend who's Islam. Like it helps him like stay focused. Ramadan is always really good for him. Yeah. So yeah, I mean positive overall. Yeah.
The principle is really good. Then if you see what's happening around the world, I'm not saying the opposite, but history tells us to say that is the opposite. Is one of the places where Islam is based and is growing and is born, is one of the places in which you have more conflicts between religions, people with the same religion.
Right.
So in theory it's good. Practically,
So
I don't know how much is going that way.
I mean, there's going to be people who would say there are like facets or like sections, I guess, rather, of Islam that aren't like so much about togetherness, like if I'm being 100% honest. But yeah, I mean, it just all depends. Like at the end of the day, it's just people, and people can either like use something for good or use it for bad. So
And if you don't mind, these things that you mentioned, that there are certain things that you think personally that aren't about togetherness. If you don't mind, can you touch on these? What specifically they
I
are?
just mean less about what Islam is as a subscription, but more about the way that people would twist it to, I mean, I say twist it. It's not like I've studied it. I wouldn't know exactly what the Quran says, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, you see it in Christianity, you see it everywhere. Like, these are enormous religious texts that people will take one excerpt off and then use that to justify pretty heinous things. It happens with every religion, I think.
I'd say I agree with you that right now Muslim countries aren't acting on the theory. But would you agree that we've had this in Christianity as well? So, for example,
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
and we've had in other
Crusades, I mean, is all about that.
the what? Sorry.
The Crusades that happened a lot of time ago, but even in more modern history, totally happened. Yeah, absolutely.
And also atheism.
Atheism is, quite large as a definition.
So what if I said that through communist China,
Yeah,
through communist Russia,
but they're not atheists. I mean,
they were. So communism is atheism. It's the absence of religion.
But in Russia, there is a strong religion.
That's now. So under
okay.
Stalin, it was communism. And so through atheism, Christians were persecuted, Muslims were persecuted as well.
Yeah.
And of course, like even Christianity, like there was a lot of things that were done in the name of Christianity, like the Crusades, etc., which someone can just cherry pick that and say that Christianity as a whole is a bad religion. But of course, we know that's not the case, right?
Yeah, again, same thing. I mean, we all have examples of where one thing has outshone everything else that's happened. So I think, again, I'd go back to time. I think because we're in the modern age, there's more coverage, there's more visibility.
100%.
So yeah, obviously it's unfair to those who aren't involved, which is the majority in every religion. You could do like 1,000 good things, and if you do one thing, that can define you. So it depends on what's captured by the media.
What would you say to people who say that Islam is, like, you've met me, okay?
Totally.
We've all had a conversation. Like, it's a brief meeting, but I'm sure you wouldn't think that I'm a negative person to be around,
Totally
right?
not. Yeah.
So what would you say to people who say that Islam's a religion of terror and hatred, and what you see in the media, they believe that?
I would say that you do not need to think that an entire religion or an entire culture is just the reflection of someone doing bad things and about what you read in the news. I mean, you need to go a bit beyond and, I don't know, read, analyze, or understand what are the reason behind certain people do certain stuff.
Exactly.
And they just, if they do it in the name of God, many times it's just a good excuse to hide
A political agenda, for
Totally,
example.
Totally, a political agenda, totally.
So Islam as a religion, so it's a universal religion and it's a holistic religion. So basically, I would say that it starts from the person itself. So personally, it is meant to develop you as a person, right? So develop discipline, shun arrogance, become a more humble person, help other people, give charity, etc., right? For example, your neighbors, you're meant to help your neighbors, give charity, etc., orphans, whatever. Then you have, on a societal level, you're meant to help people. On a family level, your parents, your children, wife, everything like that.
Yeah.
As a society, everyone in society, whether you're Christian, whether you're a Jew, you're meant to help them, you're meant to sort of live together in a society. And then on an international level, you're meant to establish justice in the world. So these are the core teachings of Islam. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think on a societal level, that's what we need. But again, it's what impact you can make as a person, because there's so many people. And obviously, if everyone has that same belief, then I guess it is more impactful.
I mean, the teachings that you've just explained, like, they all sound very positive to me.
So you accept the theory is good?
Yeah, this really is good.
If a person was to adopt these values, would it make them a better person or a worse person?
Definitely think better person, yeah.
The Prophet said that a Muslim is he from whom all other people are safe from his hands and from his tongue. You know, the actions of a Muslim and what they say, everyone must be safe, right? Another thing is that as Muslims, there's something called zakah, right? Which means that the wealth which we accumulate, we have to give a portion of that to the poor. So would you say that these things make sense of why people are accepting Islam?
On those basis, I'd say it makes sense.
And because right now, of course, I don't know if you read much or like watch a lot of YouTube videos, but especially nowadays, the trend that I'm seeing, you know, the self-help industry is booming right now. In terms of, you know, being a better person. You see a lot of these great CEOs and businessmen, they wake up in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m., they get their deep work done in the early hours of the day, sleeping on time. Do you know what I mean? So I would say all of these values to be a successful person, these are crucial, right? And Islam already within its core teachings, it has these. So just going off of that, so if someone was to adopt these sorts of things, then...
No, I can see the link there. I guess it all comes down to, like, discipline, if you want to put it to a word. So yeah, I can see how that would help you, like, have a core, like, something to revert back to, I guess.
You as a person personally, what do you think about these teachings, the teachings of Islam that I just told you right now?
I think they're very positive. Anything that helps people connect or like be together is good.
The essence is what I told you. And of course, the Quran is a very, very peaceful book. Islam is a very peaceful religion. I mean, there's 2 billion Muslims across the world. Out of the 8 billion people, that's about a quarter of the world, right? So, and I'm a Muslim. And of course, you met me for the first time. So if someone was to actually follow the true teachings of Islam, what do you think about that? Do you think it would make them a better person?
Oh yeah, in the way that you've described them to me, if it was like that, then definitely. I definitely think it would, yeah.
For example, there was a professor who said that all the suicide bombings that happened by Muslims, they were actually, the reason behind it was a political agenda, not a religious agenda.
Totally, I could agree. Yeah, I could agree.
And would you think that people need to meet more Muslims, read the Quran maybe, just to kind of remove that hatred which the media has been spreading?
Could be a solution, but I would think more generally people should understand what are the reasons and not just look at a facade of something and point the finger and saying, okay, you know what, it's just because there are Muslim people, because there are many Muslim people all around the world. Again, I will give an example. If Italy attacks France, it's not in the name of Christianism just because the Pope is there. It's because Italy want to have France. I mean, it's different.
And I agree with it.
Politics and religion is just different stuff.
Politics and religion is different. I love that. You said that, it doesn't mean just because Italy's attacking religion, that's because of Christianity. World War I, World War II is all Christian nations, right?
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
And so today when we have Muslims going out and maybe a minority of Muslims attacking people and it's blown up in the media, you would say to people that, look, don't judge so quickly and look at the wider picture.
Totally, absolutely. I would say so.
Have you looked into Islam yourself personally?
No, not personally.
And what's the reason for that? Have you just never really,
Probably because of some of the stuff that I've mentioned previously. Like, I know it's all down to like each person and how they want to use it, but overall, when you see religion being misused, like, I just think it's used too often as a device to spread hate. Honestly, that's what made me kind of fall out of love with. I was like Christian growing up. That's what made me fall out of love with like the whole thing.
And if so, what I would say is that the religion. So of course we have religion, right? And as a person deep down inside, when you actually deeply study something and you realize that it is the truth, then of course, regardless of what people are doing, then you would want to adopt that truth and you would want to spread the true message, right? So same way myself personally, I hate these acts that people are doing. They're using my religion and they're committing acts of terrorism and they're blowing people up and they're doing all these things which are completely un-Islamic. So that's the reason why we come out, we talk to people. And I would like to tell you that the true Islam is nothing to do with that. So would you think you would be open to even studying or maybe looking into it based off what I told you right now?
To be honest, probably not. Just because I have people close to me that if I want to have those conversations, I would probably go to them first, like have those conversations with them, practicing Muslims. It's probably not a thing that I would study by myself. And obviously I do completely agree with the point that you're saying that you want to stick to like the true path, etc. I just find it very hard to ignore those things on the outside. And again, I've had this discussion on a different level with people before that it's not really about those things, which I completely understand. But me, myself, as a person, like, hard to separate the two.